most of last year, I was active on LinkedIn, reading, liking, and commenting, but I didn't post much. My daughter created this beautiful digital art and asked me what she should do with it. So I immediately thought how nice it would be to look as a background with my graphics that I created for work. So we decided she should create her first NFT for the first time, and then I will combine our artwork onto a LinkedIn post. It was such a cool collaboration, and we had thousands of views. I was really happy to get so many reactions and comments after not posting much. And the reason why I tell you this story is because I included her background in the same graphic image that I used again in this presentation. So let's dive into how you can delight your customers and super streamline your operations with a cognitive enterprise. Amazon revealed recently just how big its advertising business has become. It generated $31.2 billion in revenue in 2021. Brian Oslavsky, Amazon's finance chief, said during a conference call with analysts, "I'm excited to continue innovating in areas like sponsored ads, streaming video, and measurement." He also said, "Of course, advertising only works if we make it useful for customers. When we create great experiences, we build better outcomes for brands." It is companies that realize that the value derived from data is the most valuable resource in the world today. That will not only survive the pandemic, but thrive in a post-pandemic world. We already see how data-first companies thrive during the pandemic. For example, Netflix and Spotify and Amazon. They delight their customers and have streamlined operations because they are data-first and digital-first. Leaders of data-first companies are obsessed with customer focus and leveraging data analytics and AI to delight their customers. Data analytics and AI are entrenched in every decision, business process, product innovation, marketing, selling, and engaging with the customer. They have a data leader who implements a data and AI strategy that is aligned with the company's business strategy, with a roadmap delivering business value every step of the way. In his book, Economics of Data, Analytics and Digital Transformation, Bill Schmarro says, "If you want to change the game, change the frame." He expertly explains how we can leverage data and analytics to drive economic value of data by adopting a value-driven mindset, focused on exploiting the data to derive and drive new resources and new sources for customer, product, and operational value. During this talk, I will take you through how to delight your customer and super streamline your operations by becoming a cognitive enterprise. I will talk about my take on how data and AI travels through the cognitive enterprise. And I will discuss advice given by world-class data and AI experts on how to become data and AI value-driven and understand the economic value of data and AI. I will show you how I see the sweet spot of competitive advantage and discuss why diversity and inclusion is important in strategy, teams, and solutions. Now let's talk about how I see how data and AI travels through the cognitive enterprise. This is the graphic that has my daughter's digital art in the background. We are seeing during the pandemic that the way we learn, play, transact, and relax are becoming dependent on technology in unprecedented ways. The companies that were already digital first not only survived but thrived during the pandemic. A digital first company is a cognitive enterprise. I developed this graphic presentation to describe how data and AI flows through the cognitive enterprise. We call it the System of X model. It is good for high-level discussions about how to become digital first for that competitive advantage. I also use it to discuss the importance of data analytics and AI for domains to have visibility of each other's data and insights, and to have the business expertise and other relative disciplines with diverse set of people at the table from the start to ensure responsible and entrenched data in AI. I have specific models for various industries, which help to describe the industry applications within these systems. Now, Gartner and IBM has some versions of the model, and I enhanced it for my own purposes. I used to have use squares when talking to IT architects, but then quickly realized circles would work better with executives. Here's how I see the various systems inside and outside the organization, how they are interconnected, interfacing, and sharing data with each other. The system of engagement is where an organization engages with a customer or stakeholder. It is the omni-channel and conversational ability to communicate, collaborate, and interact, and then transact. It is the system of record that provides the back-end transactional systems. These systems are connected to the system of engagement and other systems where needed via the system of automation, integration, and exchange. The system of insights is where the data from various systems are collected, organized, and analyzed, virtually or physically, for insights and decisions. It is where the data science models and AI models are built and then infused into the processes in these systems. The system of things is where things communicate with each other and the enterprise. Examples are operational technology, Internet of Things, telematics, edge computing, and so on. And it really provides new business models. The system of automation, integration, and exchange is exactly that. And it orchestrates the processes and data within the various and between the various systems in real time. This is an abstraction layer with standards and shared services that ensures agile implementation of the fast-changing system of engagement on top of the slow-changing system of record. The system of ecosystems is to which organizations belong. Examples are digital marketplaces, data marketplaces, supply chains, business-to-business data exchange platforms, including regulatory, and then also there's the metaverses. So we will look now at how to fail fast, learn faster, and learn faster to be truly data and AI driven. Many articles and books have been written in the last decade about the revolutionary significance of big data. In October 2012, Harvard Business Review published a landmark article called Big Data, the Management Revolution. The IBM CTO, Thomas Harrer, wrote that 10 years ago, the 10 highest values companies were diverse, but it was dominated by oil and gas. Now, 7 out of 10 of the world's most valued companies are data companies. That would make data the world's most valuable resource. Analyzing data to make better decisions is not new. I was part of a team that started one of the first data warehouses in South Africa in 1995. We used the base SAS version 6 software to build the entire data warehouse, the reports, and the dashboards. And I remember how we used the SAS procedures with data mining functions to predict fraudulent claims. Big data is the revolution. It implies new ways of doing things, a new set of approaches and technologies that enable accessing, managing, and analyzing data. And executives can now think differently about data and the questions that they want to ask. So big data permits users to experiment and fail and to learn quickly from their mistakes and to move forward with speed, agility, and confidence. Individuals and organizations learn through experience, and experience entails trial and error. So, ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. This is the quote from the 20th century Irish novelist and poet Samuel Beckett. He gives a great example for data-driven change and the resulting disruption and innovation it is unleashing in an age of big data and AI. Also notable is the quote by Paul Sappho, a technology forecaster, who said, "Failure is the foundation of innovation." The book Fail Fast, Learn Faster by Randy Bean provides insights into many organizations' paths taken, their lessons learned, their pitfalls to avoid, and realistic guidance. To delight customers with exceptional customer experience and super streamlined operations, implement a cognitive enterprise with Agile as a business strategy. Organize business teams and technical implementations around it to be resilient and able to scale. So how does Amazon manage to report a revenue of 31 billion for advertising business in 2021? Remember the CFO saying that they couldn't do it without delighting their customers, giving them value. The book, Working Backwards, gives insight, stories, and secrets from inside Amazon. Some of the tools that they have to improve each and every week is the weekly business review meeting, and they adapt and run these for small teams through to multi-billion-dollar businesses. They use at these meetings the DMAIC metrics lifecycle to allow them to achieve their goals faster. This is a Six Sigma process that it's an improvement method, a process improvement method, which stands for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. It's important to remember that the order matters. Something to note about the define phase is that they focus on input metrics or leading metrics, those metrics that you actually can control and which drives the output or lagging metrics. They have this flywheel defined, which shows the various input measures, how they drive also the output measure called growth. Better customer experience leads to more traffic. More traffic attracts more sellers seeking those buyers. More sellers lead to a wider selection. A wider selection enhances customer experience, completing the circle. The cycle drives growth, which in turn lowers the cost structure. Lower costs lead to lower prices, improving customer experience, and the flywheel spins faster. In this digitally transformed, digital-first world, in order to be sustainable and to differentiate yourself competitively, the organization has to have the ability to uncover superior insights about the customer, the product, the service, and operation, and interweave those insights into the organization's operational systems and value creation processes, especially when we engage with customers. To be data-driven, or rather data value-driven, is to be effective at leveraging data analytics and AI to power the organization's business and operational models. The sweet spot is where we actually use user inputs for a superior user experience. I try to depict here how there are really two cycles that work together when thinking about data and AI, value-driven customer experience. The user or our customers uses our products and services. We capture the behavior with our systems of engagement. All the user or customer transactions and events are recorded in the system of record. And then it flows to the system of insights where we build the models to better understand the customer and ultimately to improve the product and user experience. The sweet spot is in the middle, where we capture the input that the user provides. There are several ways that we can get user inputs. The first is we can infer it from other parts of the business, other brands. The second is the user can actually tell us. And the third is we can use external data that we buy from data brokers and that we get from data marketplaces. Let's take YouTube's recommendation engine as an example. The user uses YouTube. YouTube captures the user behavior on how they use YouTube. Google then infers the user's additional input by analyzing the data that they have of the user from other Google brands like Gmail, Google Search, Google Maps, and so on. I hear only positive things about YouTube's recommendation engine. Another example is Netflix. They gather information about the user behavior using their product. But I heard complaints that the recommendation engine is not as good as it should be because people spend too much time on their homepage searching or browsing. I wonder if they have the sweet spot where the user provides input. Can a user update their preferences somewhere? Do they buy external data? Do they have other brands? I don't think they have other brands that they can use to infer information about their users. Now, we know Amazon is very good with their advertising because they have several brands to infer information from the users. But I think the cherry on the cake of the sweet spot is the user is, if the user is given the opportunity to actually have visibility of what was inferred and be able to change it. That puts the power back into the user's hands, and that would be a great user experience. I wish Amazon had a checkbox a few checkboxes along with every product recommendation on their website, where I can let them know, sorry, I have this already, or I'm interested, keep on recommending, or interested but definitely not now, or not interested. So there are hundreds of companies that buy, aggregate, and sell our personal data. Companies like Nielsen, Axiom, Experian, and so on have business models focused on purchasing, curating, packaging, and selling our personal data. I don't think many people has an idea how much these data aggregators are gathering about us. Bob Schwarz's book, The Economics of Data Analytics and Digital Transformation, has all the guidance needed to delight your customers and streamline your organization. He would call the cognitive enterprise a digitally transformed enterprise. I would like to highlight 8 laws of digital transformation in his book. According to him, the ultimate operative state of every modern organization is to achieve digital transformation. I quote, digital transformation is the creation of a continuously learning and adapting AI-driven and human-empowered business model that seeks to identify, codify, and operationalize actionable customer, product, and operational insights in order to optimize operational efficiency, enhance customer value creation, mitigate operational and compliance risk, and create new revenue opportunities. And here I would like to highlight Law 7, which is it's about identifying, codifying, and operationalizing sources of value. And Law 8, sorry, Law 8, which is about the 3 horizons of digital transformation. There are 4 fundamentals of Law 7. You first identify the sources of value creation with a customer-centric perspective, or think outside in view. That applies basic economic concepts to identify and validate and value and prioritize the sources of value, customer value creation. The second fundamental is to codify the sources of value creation by using advanced analytics to codify customer, product, and operational insights into digital assets, which are analytics profiles and composable, repeatable, continuously learning analytic models. Fundamental 3 is to operationalize and scale the sources of value creation through a product-centric perspective that focuses on embedding the customer, product, and operational insights into the organization's operational systems. Fundamental 4 is to create a continuously learning, AI-infused operational and cultural environment, empowering the frontline employees. It's where the organization learns and adapts with every frontline customer engaged or the engaged in the operational interaction. Law 8 is the 3 horizons framework. It is designed to help organizations not get caught by competitors or those who are thinking differently about digital reinvention. It helps you assess your maturity and progress forward. Horizon 1 is to optimize your current operations. This is where you optimize processes, reduce compliance, and manage risk. and create more compelling customer experience. It uses descriptive and explorative analytics to uncover customer, product, and operational insights in the data. Horizon 1 is focused on making money today, and the initiatives are important to keep the lights on, as well as provide resources that fund the transition to Horizon 2. Examples of use cases in manufacturing are zero unplanned downtime, predictive maintenance, resource scheduling, asset utilization, first-time fix management, fraud and theft reduction, and inventory management. Horizon 2 is to digitalize your current environments or operations. It seeks to integrate new digital technologies with new customer, product, and operational insights to dramatically improve the operational effectiveness of your current business model. For example, cultural equipment manufacturer would create analytic profiles or digital twins to create of key operational entities like tractors and farming equipment and so on, to improve and accelerate and augment operational decision-making with fine-grained, hyper-individualized analytics. Horizon 3 is about digitally transforming or reinventing your business model. It's where you use continuous learning and adapting business model to uncover, and it acts upon the new customer, product, and operational insights with minimum human intervention. It uses game-changing automation and autonomous analytics that continuously learn, adapt, and reinvent the organization's business models, as well as the industry's value chain. It is where you will, for example, have the autonomous farming business model. Studies have already shown how racist, sexist, and abusive ideas are embedded in the AI models if we don't responsibly develop them. For example, large language models. Because of their size, they have shockingly high carbon footprint. Because of their fluency, they easily confuse people into thinking a human wrote the outputs, could enable mass production of misinformation. On a strategic level, when the strategy of an initiative is developed, all the relevant people should be invited to the table. When we form our teams, ensure that it's diverse. When we collect data for our AI models, ensure that it's diverse. Google CEO Sundar Pichai recently announced an AI system called Lambda that can chat to users about any subject. Pichai said the eventual goal is to create a conversational interface that allows people to retrieve any kind of information, text, visual, audio, across all Google's products by just asking. A tech company, these large models, large language models, are often built by only half a dozen people who are primarily technical people. There's a startup called Big Science that wants to bring in hundreds of researchers from a broad range of countries and disciplines to participate in this truly collaborative model. The initiative already snowballed into a global operation that now has more than 500 people. I think companies are realizing the economic value of data, analytics, and AI much more widely, and will in 2022 develop and implement pragmatic data and AI strategies with roadmaps for prioritized implementation of short, feasible initiatives with high business value. Data and AI coaches, like myself, will help data leaders on the ground to ensure buy-in, practical implementation, and success. Thank you.